Hello everyone, and now welcome to Game 3 in this series between Welmu and Donregu. Donregu spawning as the red Zerg on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we have Welmu spawning as the blue Protoss. Now this is a 3-game series because that's how many replays I have. But I don't know if it's a best of 3 or a best of 5. Sometimes replay sites, the ones that are not nearly as outstanding as the more traditional ones, do put up the replays out of order. So I don't know if Donregu is going to come out of this 3-0 or if Welmu won the first game and then lost the next two. So thanks for watching so far as I am continuing my cast here on Star Station. Donregu spawning as the red Zerg on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the bottom left, Welmu has spawned as the blue Protoss. Protoss versus Zerg once more. And I am expecting a hatchery first here coming out from Donregu. Donregu has been building hatchery firsts generally hoping to really use that strong economy that Zerg players really enjoy. The fact that their hatchery cost 100 resources less does allow them to expand much more quickly, even though the drone itself is actually lost in that time. That is still beneficial, as it does take off normally about 15 to 20 seconds of mining time, and that 15 to 20 seconds does make a big difference in terms of overall production. We are now looking at what appears to be a double assimilator opening after the gateway. We should be seeing a cybernetics core momentarily as well, and then perhaps 2 more workers inside the assimilator. This is a very traditional build here, as the probes are only mining at 2 workers, and this does mean that Welmu is getting pretty much as efficient as possible with each of these workers early on. Meanwhile, Donregu once again building up a 3rd hatchery at his opponent's base. And how will this work this time around? You can see that Donregu, now finally starting his spawning pool, has gone for that double hatch. And this is a rather dangerous play, I got to admit, as Welmu, if he just simply tried the 4-gate right here, this would be rather cute. The 4-gate would be rather effective. You can see that the hatchery is already in play. The probe now just going to be building a pylon right there on the front door. There's not going to be any Zerglings anytime soon, as the hatchery will most likely not get canceled. I don't know if that many probes really need to be brought over. Yeah, I don't agree with this. Donregu, you have seen him just finish, let this hatchery finish for extra time. The Zerglings DPS is not that effective, and so much mining time has been lost on these probes because of that. On top of that, oh, cancellation and a rebuild. Oh, and a cancellation again. That was a huge loss right there. But the one true benefit is that there is no creep on the ground. So Welmu, benefiting from no creep, can place down his Nexus, and perhaps this was a lesson to learn from the first game. Now, let's take a look over here. Sentry now being brought over. What is that? Overlord still sitting off to the side. The Sentry should just try to come here and then push the Overlord back. That would actually work out fairly well, as the Overlord would not be flying in the right direction. But no, you do not see that play come in from Welmu, as the probe is now making a move out across the map. So far, spawning pool with metabolic research. Only 1 drone on the extractor now. We are going into 3 bases. And with that, 29 drones versus 26 probes. Double gateways now coming online. Warp gate tech about to be completed. Welmu is currently behind by a good 8 supply, and that number is just going to continue to grow, as Donregu has not really let up in terms of his drone production. He can easily train up more drones. He has perfect places for them. He only has 1 extractor down, and I believe we are not going to see any real attacks coming out from Donregu until the 10-minute mark. He knows that he has an advantage, and he knows that with just a handful of Zerglings, he can deal a lot of damage and maintain map control. All right, you can see that there, one pylon does get taken down, 150 resources lost for the Protoss. Meanwhile, 325 for the Zerg. But he doesn't care, as his income is about 600 more than his opponent. You can see now, Extractor finally gets up to 3 units, 16 drones here. Meanwhile, also 18 drones off to the north, 10 drones here with another inject coming in. That is going to be very, very crucial. The Zerglings may try to take down this pylon, but the sentries are off to the side, should be able to finish them. So far, we are looking at Queens now laying down creep tumors. And what is this Queen doing? Just moving out very, very forward, hoping to lay down creep tumors and spread that creep across the map, giving you movement speed production or movement speed increase across a lot of units. Blink now coming online as well. Level 1 weapons upgrade. Perhaps even level 2 or level 3 can get started, as the sentries should be slipping down here and moving out in just a moment. So far, Zealot, Sentry, Blink on those Stalkers, pylons, and extra gateways being added. Are we going to see a 2-base 7-gate, 2-base 7-gate, or a 2-base 8-gate? It could be very, very dangerous if the Protoss player executes it right and the Zerg player is not expecting it. There's just so many units coming out, as we see a hallucinated warp prism. Oh, this is a brilliant play by Welmu. Most Zerg players really believe that the warp prism is real. If you see a Phoenix, most Zerg players are like, okay, yeah, it's a Phoenix. That's probably just a hallucination. But by going warp prism, it's actually confusing Don Regu into thinking that there is perhaps a robotics facility in play. A robotics facility, and now we are going to be going into Hydralisk. That doesn't make a lot of sense. Perhaps he is not buying this one particular drop all too much. You can see that the hallucinated warp prism has disappeared, but it is still going to put the Don Regu on the heels of his feet for a little bit of time, thinking that a drop could be coming in from somewhere. You can see a lot's been invested in spore crawlers there, and I believe there, thinking that a drop could be coming in. And that was a beautiful play to get rid of 3 drones to place down a spore crawler, as it is really instead a massive gateway army. 3, or I believe that is going to be 7 gateways. 8 gateways now pushing out across the field. There's the proxy pylon. Don Regu, needs to blink back over here, tries to take down a couple more units. The Zealot does pick off a few units here, as there is a proxy pylon off to the front. Stalkers are there, and now Welmu is going to be fighting up an uphill battle. You can take a look at the army sizes, 1625 versus 3125. That is a lot more Zerglings and a lot more units on the field as force fields come in. All right, Spine Crawlers now trying to come into position. Stalkers blink back to protect those sentries. Hydralisks are now getting stuck on the wrong side here, as the sentries are just going to move forward and try and take down all of those Spine Crawlers. Zerglings, sentries now falling here. This is actually a beautiful fight, but I believe that Don Regu's macro is simply too much. You can see that the Zerglings are still, the Hydralisks are still trying to engage. Stalkers are now moving in off to the north. Are we going to see some more force fields? No, we do not. The Stalkers are peeling back just at the right time, or some of them are, as you can see them trying to mitigate much of that damage. But I believe this is just too much damage, too many Hydralisks. Don Regu, believing that there was a robotics facility, and somehow decided to train up a lot of Hydralisks, not hoping that there wasn't Colossus. There goes the pylon. A lot of Zealots were taken down there. It looks like, yes, that one Hydralisk will get taken out, and with no proxy pylon reinforcement, that attack, as brilliant as it was, just did not stand up to the harassment and production of Don Regu. Don Regu now with still a very, very large army difference. If you take a look at the losses, we are pretty even. It's just that the income is about 800 resources more a minute for Welmu. If things continue to go at this rate, Welmu will not be able to get back into this game. He has a lot of units on the field, but it is still not enough to deal with the number of Hydralisks. Hydralisks do attack rather quickly. They do deal a lot of damage. Stalkers quickly blinking back, making sure to get off of that creep, but the Hydralisks are still on that creep, moving very, very quickly. Where are they going to be going next? Stalkers blinking again, able to take down a handful of Zerglings. More units still trying to come in here, and you can see 2 pylons in position. Sentry is going to get cleaned up. And I do believe this will be the GG. Welmu perhaps can pick up some straggling Zerglings, but won't be able to do much of anything else. Alright, Zerglings try to get away, not able to get away at all. You see a 50 resource difference as Welmu now charges up the middle. 40 is not resource difference, supply difference or food difference here. Alright, Stalkers blinking back again. There's a blink away, trying to get away from those Zerglings, away from those Hydralisks. It looks like it will work, at least for now, as the Stalkers could blink forward. Yes, gets a free queen, and almost got a Hydralisk in that exchange. Alright, 1300 versus 0 extra resources in the bank. 40 resource difference between both armies here. Stalkers still blinking back, and this is looking no good, no bueno. Not looking good at all, as Donregu is still doing a great job trading. But what is this? Welmu blinks forward and exchanging extremely well. You can take a look at the losses. The losses for the Zerg are slightly higher as he takes down another queen again. This could quickly change though. Infestors are making their way out. That will be plenty of fungal growth, as I believe the pathogen glands have already been completed. Alright, Zerglings now trying to engage. Are they going to be able to do anything? You can take a look. Units are blinking back, exchanging shield points for hit points on Hydralisk. Very strong move as the Spine Crawler, one gets taken down, and there goes blinks the last 2 again. 96 supply versus 155. Stalkers now looking to push forth once more. Oh, a fungal growth could come in. Oh, a beautiful blink away. Beautifully done. But there is a fungal growth that lands, and with no more fungal growth, with nowhere to run, nowhere to hide, there is the GG. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this best of 5 series. Donregu 3-0ing Welmu.